Hello, my dear learners. My name is St. David, a teacher from Namugongo Secondary and Vocational School. I'm going to take you through IPS Arts, and we are going to basically look at graphics. And under graphics, we shall particularly look at one topic, and that is called logo designing. So with those few words, I want to first take you through what we are going to cover under this topic. We shall start with the definition of the term logo as used in art and craft. Then secondly, we shall go ahead and look at the qualities of a good logo. At times they are called the characteristics of a good logo. Then thirdly, we shall look at the types of the logos. Then lastly, we shall go ahead and then break them down into 4 main types, starting with the letter mark logo, word mark logo, brand mark logo, and lastly, we shall look at the emblem logo. So we are going to get to know the difference between these 4 types that I've mentioned. I want to start with the definition of the term logo. A logo can be defined as a symbol or recognizable graphic design or element that represents an organization or a product. Having looked at the definition of the term logo, I want to proceed with the qualities or the characteristics of a good logo, starting with the first one, and that is what we refer to as simplicity and preciseness of a logo. Under this statement, a good logo is supposed to be simple. Whenever you're told to design a logo, you have to make sure that your logo is simple and precise. Why do we make it simple and precise? For those people who are going to see it, to easily understand it. The moment you make it complicated, then understanding it will be very hard. Then secondly, a good logo should not be complicated with many objects. Students in most cases have a tendency of coming up with complicated or complex things. In this case, I'm suggesting that whenever you're told to design a logo, you have to make sure that you don't include in too many things. Why? Because you want those people who are viewing it or who have intentions of looking at your work to understand it. Then, thirdly, a good logo should be recognizable. Why? Because the moment it's not able to be recognized, that means that understanding it will be very hard. How do you make it recognizable? By using brighter colors. Then fourthly, a good logo must be eye-catching and easy to be recognized at a glance. It should be easy to be recognized at a glance. That means that you must be able to recognize it from a distance. You must be able to recognize it from a distance. And how do you do that? Still by using brighter colors. Then also a good logo should be symbolic. Whenever we are told to design a logo, in most cases, we don't use the exact images, we don't use the exact content. And in most cases, we have to summarize it into symbols. Say for example, if you want to come up with a logo that is having a human figure, we have to simplify a human figure to the simplest form by eliminating some of the features. You can eliminate the eyes, you can remove the ears, and then you come up with something without the details. Then, next, a good logo would be much appealing and interesting. It should be much appealing and interesting. This will depend on the kind of fonts that you're going to use, the illustrations that you're going to use to back up the fonts that you've come up with. Then next, a good logo should be memorable. For example, the logo of Coca-Cola. The reason as to why it has stood for long, because it was designed well. It was designed for well. It was designed well. So you have to make sure that the logo that you come up with stands for a long time. Don't design something that is going to be adjusted the next year. You have to make sure that at least it serves for like 50 years, 30 years, and at least if it's the minimum years, then it should serve for 15 years. Then lastly, a good logo should be something easily remembered, or should be able to last for long. A good logo should last for long. Basically, those are the qualities of a good logo. So from the types of logo, I want us to proceed straight to the types of a logo. And I said at the beginning that logos are made up of basically 5 types: letter mark, word mark, brand mark, and then the emblem. I want us to start with what we call letter mark. What is a letter mark logo? This is a type of logo that requires or that needs you to use typography. It is like a monogram. To some of you have ever done a monogram. How do you form a monogram? Through using the initials of a particular company name or a particular company product. That is how we define a letter mark logo. We have some examples. Say for example, the logo of CNN. The logo of CNN. Then we have a second one, the logo of BBC. Those companies used the initials of the company's names. They use the initials of the company names. That's why you're seeing CNN, BBC. Having looked at the letter mark logo, I want us to proceed to the second one, and that is the word mark logo. With this one, we basically use the word or the name of a company or a product from the company. And we can define it as a type of logo design that includes only the company name. With this one, we don't include any icon. If I talk about the icon, I'm meaning a symbol or an image, or it can be an illustration. We don't include it there. We use specifically the name of that company or the product name. Then thirdly, we proceed to the brand mark logo. Now, a brand mark logo is a bit different from the first two. That is letter mark and word mark. Why? With this one, we use a symbol to represent a company product. For some of you who are keen enough, you've ever seen an apple that is cut at the sides. That is representing the apple products. Then there is also another one that is for shell. There is another one that is for Microsoft. Basically, those are the symbols that I can identify. Then fourthly, we have what we call the emblem. With the emblem, it's the combination of all the three types. That is the letter mark, word mark, and then brand mark. This is the combination, and we can define it as a logo made by combining all a typography and a symbol or image to come up with that type of logo. We are having some example of Lorraine Ipsum. How do you come up with an emblem logo? It will depend on you as a designer. It will depend on what you want to achieve at the end of it all. So, after looking at the types of a logo, allow me to take you straight to what we call the design process. Allow me to take you what we call the design process. And what are we going to design? We are going to design this type of logo, emblem logo. The reason as why I want us to use the emblem logo, because for it, it's very easy to interpret it. When they tell you to design a logo and then you come up with a brand mark logo, it may be very difficult for someone to interpret it. Why? Because one may not understand what a designer has come up with. One may not understand what a designer has come up with. Even when you use the letter mark logo, someone may fail to interpret it. Then also when you design a word mark logo, it may be very difficult for someone to interpret it. So I'm suggesting that as a student, when you're told to design a logo, you have to opt for the emblem logo. Why? Because it's having all the content. It's having all the content. Why? Because it's a combination of the first three types. When you're told to design an emblem logo, what do you start with? What do you start with? That is the answer that is the answer we are going to give to the question. Or that is the question we have to respond to. You have to know that a logo must have 1, the icon. 2, must have the product. Name. And 3, I'm suggesting that it should also have what we call the initials. And how you come up with the initials, you're supposed to do it in a creative. You're supposed to do it in a creative way. For example, I'm told to design a logo for a new product on market called gold, safari, fruit, juice. Safari fruit juice. What do I do first is to come up with a layout on how I'm going to come up with my which I'm going to use to come up with my logo. And this is how my layout is going to be. Where do I put the product name? Yes. Here. Here I can decide to put the product. The product name. Then where do I put the initials? I put the initials. I can decide to put the initials in the middle. The initials we are having S, we are having F, but you do it in a creative way. Then I can put the juice one. This is F. Then I can put the J one here. But remember, we said that this is an emblem, and it's a combination of the three types. So what is missing here is what we call the icon. I can just get a drop of juice and then put it in the middle. I can put a drop of juice just in the middle. And in case we are given a slogan, we can put the slogan. The reason that's why I've left this space is that in case we are given the slogan, we put it where? Here. So for example, if the slogan is enjoy the flavor, I can put my enjoy the flavor. Down here. But it's having all the concepts. So that is how we are supposed to design a logo. This is just a sketch. It is just a sketch. So having looked at that, whenever we are told to design a logo, we have to put this in mind. Still, I'm repeating by name. I'm Sendiose David, a teacher from Namugongo Secondary and Vocational School. Please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube